You're standing in a crowded room, but you are utterly alone. The air is thick with noise, shouting, laughter that's too loud, the desperate, high-pitched performance of the jester broadcasting his rented status, the calculated sideways glance of the siren, scanning the herd, her eyes grazing over the eager, validated faces. But you're not in it. You are a ghost at the banquet. You are watching it. You're watching the way the light hits a glass. You're noticing the micro-expression on the jester's face when his joke doesn't land. You see the shadow of fear. You see the lie under the performance. You are not just hearing the conversation, you are autopsying it. This is the curse of the deep mind. You don't just see a tree, you see the war, the ruthless, silent battle for sunlight, the roots choking each other for resources. A perfect, brutal metaphor for the very room you're standing in. Psychologists have soft, academic names for this. High-trait introspection, default mode network. They describe it as a gift, a burden. They romanticize it. Let's call it what it is. It is a threat assessment engine you cannot turn off. It is a hyper-vigilant, military-grade pattern recognition machine that is running 24/7 inside your skull. It is not a hobby. It is your operating system. This is why you are so drained. This is why small talk feels like sandpaper on your soul. It is not arrogance. It is a brutal economic calculation. Small talk, the weather, the game, the weekend, it is a low-status transaction. It is a waste of your single most valuable non-renewable asset, focus. The opportunity cost of engaging in the jester's pointless banter is catastrophic. It is time stolen from your mission. It is energy leaked into the void. So you stay silent. You observe. You weigh 10 possibilities before you speak. And by the time you have formulated the perfect, precise response, the herd has already moved on. They mistake your depth for disinterest. They mistake your silence for weakness. Let them. Your silence is not weakness. It is a filter. It is a weapon. You are not shy. You are lethal. You are listening. And in a world of broadcast noise, the man who listens, the man who sees the script, is the only one who truly has power. But this power, this engine, comes with a cost. It comes with a trap. This is the part they don't tell you. This is the part that turns 99% of deep thinkers into failures. It's called meta-cognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. For most people, it's a tool. For you, it's a prison. Your mind becomes a shadows loop. You replay everything. That conversation from 3 years ago, the way you fumbled your words, the opportunity you missed, the thing you should have said. You are haunted by the ghosts of your own potential. This isn't self-awareness. This is paralysis. You are trapped by the sunk cost of your own past. And this is where the curse truly takes hold. This is where it destroys your life, especially with women. You meet a siren. She is a beautiful, chaotic, emotional storm. She tests you. She says something contradictory. She pulls away. And your engine, your gift, kicks into overdrive. You don't act. You analyze. What did she mean by that text? Why did she wait 6 hours to reply? What was the subtext of that joke? You spiral. You are so busy in your head trying to figure her out, trying to build a logical case, that you forget to be the man. You are not present. You are not leading. You are not dangerous. You are just thinking. She doesn't want your analysis. She wants your presence. She wants the king. And you are giving her the philosopher. You see all the flaws in humanity. You see the patterns. And you use this clarity as the ultimate, sophisticated, bulletproof excuse to do nothing. You become the martyr, the bitter, lonely, misunderstood man who is too deep for a shallow world. You are the man who knows everything about the game, but is too afraid to play. This is the failure state. This is the shadow. This is the man who drowns in his own depth. But what about the 1%? What about the man who doesn't drown in the storm, but learns to command it? The man who takes this curse, this engine, and turns it into a crown. This is the man who stops being the martyr and becomes the king.
We left off in the prison, the paralysis of analysis, the shadow's loop, the deep thinker who has become a martyr to his own mind, a man who can see everything and do nothing, a man drowning in the sunk cost of his own past, paralyzed by the clarity of his own sight. This is the man who thinks himself out of his own life. Now, let's talk about the king. The king has the exact same engine, the same curse, the same hyper-vigilant pattern recognition machine. The only difference is that he is the master of the machine, not its slave. He doesn't fix his mind, he aims it. Let's look at the king's playbook. First, the shadow is trapped by meta-cognition. He sees his own flaws in high definition, and it paralyzes him. He is defined by his self-doubt. The king uses meta-cognition as a weaponized upgrade path. He sees his flaws with the same brutal clarity, and he hunts them. He doesn't see a flaw, he sees a target. He doesn't feel shame, he feels anger. And he uses that anger as fuel. His deep thinking doesn't become a spiral of self-doubt, it becomes a ruthless process of self-correction. He is not a martyr to his flaws. He is the predator of his own weakness. Second, the shadow is trapped by existential thinking. He asks, what is the purpose? Why are we here? Life is meaningless. He becomes a nihilist. This depth is just a sophisticated excuse for his inaction and mediocrity. The king asks the same questions and comes to a different conclusion. He looks at the great performance and agrees, it is all meaningless. And in that meaninglessness, he finds absolute freedom. If there is no inherent meaning, then he is free to create his own. His mission becomes his meaning. His purpose becomes his God. He is not paralyzed by the void, he builds his kingdom in it. Third, the shadow uses solitude as a refuge, a hiding place. He is the lonely deep thinker avoiding a world that doesn't get him. He is retreating. The king uses solitude as a forge. It is not a retreat, it is a strategy room. It is where he untangles the noise of the tribe. It is where he detoxes from the gesture's performance and the siren static. It is where he calms the engine, sharpens his focus, and aims it at his mission. He doesn't hide in solitude, he rearms in it. This brings us to the final and most important battlefield, the siren. The shadow, the deep thinker, freezes when she tests him. He overanalyzes. He ruminates. He treats her emotional test as a logical puzzle. He's so busy thinking, he fails. The king, the man who has weaponized his deep thinking, his engine sees the same test. The pattern recognition kicks in. But he doesn't analyze it. He recognizes it. He doesn't freeze. He smiles. His deep thinking allows him to see the game. He sees her test not as a threat, but as a question. A primal evolutionary question she has to ask. Are you a king I can follow, or a jester I must manage? And his calm, his amused, his unreadable presence is the answer. He is not in the performance with her, he is the audience. He is the one judging her. He is the one that sees her more clearly than she sees herself. And that is the ultimate, terrifying, magnetic power. So let's go back to that room. The jester, the siren, the noise. The shadow is in the corner, bitter, resentful, paralyzed, judging everyone, drowning in his own depth. The king is in the same corner. He sees the same absurdity, but he is not bitter. He's not paralyzed. He is calm. He is sovereign. He sees the game, and he's amused by it. He understands that depth isn't about drowning in the thought. It's about seeing clearly enough to float. So if you are one of these men, if you are one of the ones who sees, you have a choice. You can be the martyr. You can be the shadow. You can let your gift become a curse that locks you in a prison of your own mind, forever thinking about the life you were too afraid to live. Or you can be the king. You can aim your mind. You can turn your analysis into action. You can turn your clarity into a crown. Your depth is not a burden to be carried. It is a sword to be wielded. Stop overthinking. Start conquering.